Welcome back to Talent Talks, the podcast where we explore the art and science of the hiring top talents, especially for the dynamic world of DTC and e-commerce. I'm your host, Aycee Gardner, and today we have a very special episode that serves as a sneak peek into an upcoming webinar that I'm super excited about. The topic, Beyond the Product, Building the Team that Scales Your DTC Brand, is going to be an invaluable session on November 21st, so mark your calendars. Joining me today are two experts from More Staffing, JC Ventura, the Director of Talent Acquisition, and Kitty Parco, the HR Manager. They're here to share their insights on what it takes to build a high-performing team that can take your brand to new heights. JC, Kitty, thank you so much for being here today.
Great to be here.
Wonderful. So, to kick things off, let's get to know both of you a bit better. JC, could you tell us about your role at More Staffing and what led you into talent acquisition, especially in the DTC space?
Okay, when we started, I was part of the founding members. So it was a lean team. It's just the co-founders plus me. So when I started, I handled all the recruitment process. I wasn't client-facing before. It was only Lara who was speaking with or engaging with the clients. I'm more on the end-to-end recruitment process. So when we started More Staffing, I used to work for DTC brands in US and Europe. So I think that experience or the knowledge of working in the DTC brand made me an efficient recruiter because I know what the clients are looking for exactly. So from there, the company has grown, we're almost 3 years now, I believe. And basically now I'm more on the client facing of the company. I join discovery calls. And then since I'm bridging the gap between the sales and the recruitment process. Since I have the knowledge and know-how on how the recruitment works, what type of candidates we have, I can ask the guiding questions for our clients, especially for those who are unsure of the positions they need help in, or uncertain since this is the first time that they are hiring for a remote team and they are starting also as a lean team. So that is where I think I'm most efficient in, and being able to address and coordinate that in our recruitment team so that we can actually, we can tailor fit our search based on the requirements of the client.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, JC. And Kitty, as an HR manager, you play such a vital role in team dynamics. Could you share a bit about your journey and your approach to managing talent in today's fast-paced e-commerce world?
Thanks, AC. That's a great question. It's really daunting, basically, to manage teams in a remote setup. But my journey basically spans in from my 8 years of experience in the recruitment team, 4 years of which is within the remote industry or landscape. It's great to always have that open communication with the team, make them feel that that you are visible and ready to help and guide them every step of the way. Because we barely see each other. At the most, you will have weekly catch-up sessions, or your conversations will go over Slack or email. So it's always very important to communicate with them on a regular basis. I think that's how you manage remote teams or talents within this industry.
Thank you. Thank you, Kitty. So let's dive into the core topic. JC, you've seen firsthand how building the right team can impact a DTC brand success. Can you share your thoughts on why a high-performing team is as important as having a great product?
Okay. actually, as the saying goes, two heads are better than one. So I think that what makes a success for every brand with a high performing team is that they need to complement each other. Each, CEOs, visionaries, they have their strengths, but they also have their weaknesses. Building a team according to, having a team member who can step up on those weaknesses can actually help nurture, the product, the brand, and the likes. When in more staffing, actually, I believe we aim as much as possible to find the strengths and weaknesses of each of the team members and strengthen those strengths that can, help the business grow. So that's what we try to do as well in helping our clients build their brand.
Yes. I think that's super, super important. And I love when you said two heads is better than one. Absolutely. And how about you, Kitty? From HR perspective, what do you find are some common challenges DTC brands face as they try to scale their teams?
Yeah, good question. Well, during discovery calls, one very important thing that we flesh out from our clients or potential clients is of course, their pain points. I think one big challenge is finding people who not only have the technical know-how, the right skills, but also fit the fast and sometimes unpredictable nature of DTC brands. So usually as a team grows, it can be difficult for them to keep, the original company culture strong. And then as they scale too fast, they risk losing alignment across the team. So that's why we're very big on setting clear processes and communication standards so everyone's on the same page, even as we grow. Plus the fact that since they are usually a startup company or they're still, they're in the process of their building their teams, more often than not, they need someone who could wear many hats. So I guess if that person is not flexible in managing different responsibilities, not proactive in learning new things, and also not really interested in getting to know the brand itself, that it's a difficult thing or it's a challenge for our clients or DTC brands to scale and to find the right person for their team. So I think
Yes.
the main thing.
I can just imagine that. And then, of course, it's like most DTC brands that you're working with, I believe there are startups, they're very young. And then usually the hires that you guys are getting or even their first hires, let alone it's a remote position too. So it's just fascinating to hear that. So JC, in the upcoming webinar, we'll be exploring the essential roles every DTC brand should consider to drive growth. Like media buyers, supply chain experts, and the likes. Could you give our listeners a sneak peek into some of these key roles and why they're so essential?
Okay, I would say first is a supply chain manager. Since the DTC brands have products, and that's the core of the company, I believe having the right supply chain manager in place would be very helpful for a company to grow. Having the right person to handle their forecasting, inventory planning, vendor management, finding suppliers that can give cost reduction for the company, or even managing their logistics would be one key factors in, having a strong financial and, of course, production of their products for the growth of the company. Apart from that, one of the, we have great traction right now in team members for marketing positions, such as director of marketing, SEO specialists, email and SMS specialists, even creatives positions for graphic design, video editing. Those people with such skill set is very essential right now, especially like Google Ads, Meta Ads experts. Well, Shopify, yeah. Also, Shopify experts. So those are of course, they want to have a strong website presence as well as ads presence in Google and Facebook. Even TikTok and Instagram, we get those as well, but mostly we have a very strong requirements for Facebook and Google Ads expert. So apart from that, of course, the back-end support in sales support and customer service. Of course, as in the Philippines, we have a huge BPO industry here who has been the technical and customer support for the US and UK companies for more than 10 years now. So we have a lot of great talents who have the skills and expertise needed if they need this type of support for their company. And also, we have clients that we have supported in their finance department, such as bookkeeping and accountants, controller. Usually, our clients have been working for a third-party agency to handle their accounting, but they always, I think the common denominator why they decide to hire someone from more staffing is that since they're working for a third company, the accountants that they're working with are not entirely focused for their company. So they needed someone in-house who can give them a day-to-day overview of the accounting side of their business.
Lovely. So what I'm hearing you say for our listeners is that the primary or essential positions that our staffing has been hiring from DTC brands are supply chain management, marketing management, customer service, and financials. So it's just like it's the core of the business, and I can just imagine how these positions are definitely something that companies would need. And when hiring these roles, Kitty, what qualities or skills do you prioritize?
Good question. Yeah, for all of these roles, just like what JC mentioned, from supply chain to marketing to creatives to customer service to all sorts of, teams or departments within the DTC e-commerce landscape, we're not just always looking for the technical know-how or technical skills. I've always said this, that it should be a perfect mix of technical skills and soft skills, because you will really find great candidates who are good in terms of media buying or budgeting ad spend or doing creatives. But there are clients who would also prefer someone who has good communication skills, who would be able to present things to them or present their ideas to them. So I think aside from the technical skills, we are looking for people who are good communicators, proactive, and adaptable, and definitely those who can think on their feet and adjust as things change. Ownership is also huge. We want people who don't just get tasks done, but actually look for ways to make things better and to really stand out. So I think those candidates who show genuine passion for the brand and communicate well across teams tend to be the ones who shine and get hired by our clients.
That's nice. And I just want to double click on what you said. It's the combination of the technical and soft skills in knowing that most DTC brands are startups, as you've mentioned earlier in the podcast. It's just like wearing multiple hats, and therefore they're highly adaptable, taking ownership with what they're doing, and definitely thinking on their feet. So, thinking about the team structure, there's so many positions and then it's remote. JC, what advice would you give DTC leaders on structuring their teams for maximum impact?
Okay, I think it's very important to know what support they need. When we do discovery calls, that's the main question I would ask, especially if they give us, a very vague information on the position that they're looking to hire. Sometimes the position that they mention is very different from the expectations that they want. So it's very important to really know, like, what would you envision this team to be working, what support you need, or what are the things you need improvement for your company, so that the people that you will be onboarding, the team member that you will be adding, knows exactly where and what should be worked on, especially in the first 3 months of working together, because that's very important to know. Otherwise, it could lead to, failure or a disconnect between the hire and the client. If this is not set in stone, or it's not, we get clients who are really uncertain of what they're looking for. Sometimes we make adjustment in the job description as they go, or as they interview candidates, they realize that, okay, I need someone who has different expertise. Like, I need someone who can manage another thing as well that's not in the job description. So basically, knowing what you need is very important in building your team.
Interesting to hear that I can just imagine that there are certain clients and DTC brands who they say they need A, but in reality they need B. And while the process is ongoing, they realize they need C. It's just like the fluctuating needs and sometimes incoherent desire for what they need. But I can just imagine that. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. I would also like to add, like, as a CEO, for example, as like us, we started Leap. We do everything together. And it's very similar for clients that we're working with. They can do everything on their own, like what I was doing before. But I think if you're aiming to grow your company, you want to duplicate yourself, not working on the surface of the things that needs to be worked on. You need someone, a team member, who can actually go deeper than what you're doing to be able to really build that growth. Because I can say, for more staffing, I can do it end to end. But we want to grow the company and we want to duplicate ourselves to be able to cater to more clients or more positions that we can think of. So, yes, as you were saying.
Yeah. As I was saying, it's just like I can really hear that collaboration and efficiency is definitely super, super important. And having said this, it's like, Kitty, what are some strategies you've found effective for setting teams up for strong collaboration?
Well, great. Great thing that you mentioned strong collaboration, because it's very important. It's one thing that you will always hear from the clients, from us, that we have to make sure that we are able to collaborate. Having strong collaboration and also being able to connect with the rest of the team is an important recipe for a successful company. So I think it really starts with clear communication and also well-defined rules. Just like what JC mentioned, that during discovery calls, we want to pinpoint the actual responsibilities, scope of work, the things that they really desire for their hire or for the new before bringing in a new person in their team. So more often than not, we also suggest that We use, task management tools and to keep everyone in the loop. So there's no guesswork on who's doing what. Know exactly who's responsible for this or who's responsible for that. So I think regular check-ins as well are crucial. They help people stay connected and share updates across different functions. So when everyone knows how, their work connects to a bigger picture, it strengthens the collaboration naturally. So it's very important that everyone is in the loop. You know exactly what everyone is doing.
Yes. And just to emphasize what you've said, it's like when people know the big picture, they know where they're heading. It's just like that collaboration. They have the North Star, they have the vision. Definitely I agree with you on that one. And I can just imagine that hiring is a really balancing act. It's just like, especially when you're deciding between remote or in-house talent. JC, what strategies do you recommend for making these decisions in a way that supports growth?
Okay, so I think that I'd say like there are positions you really need to hire in-house, especially if you have an office. You really need an in-house EA, for example. But most of the things can be done remotely. One of the clients that I've worked with, a DTC brand in Europe, way before pandemic, their team is already remote. When I asked the CEO what made his decision on hiring remotely, because they have hires from the US, they have hires in Europe, across Europe, India, Philippines, Asia, Australia. It's like global remote team. So when I asked him what made his decision to have remotely, and his answer, I can never forget, is that he wants to maximize the skills and expertise up globally. Like if you can tap talents, high caliber talents, why limit your hires within your location? If you can tap experts across 100 miles away from you. So I think if that's what you envision and you're looking for really a diverse type of, working together, collaboration, remote team can really work for you. Production, in DTC brand, you can, like, for example, for same with a client that I have in Europe, our production is not only from China. We have production in Germany, in Czech. So it's really like you can work with people globally and it's unlimited. Like the possibility is endless.
Yeah. Yes, I love that you're not just zeroing into one location. It's just like there are billions of people in the world. Why just limit in one region or in one country when you can tap multiple talents all over the world? And yes, hiring the right talent is just the start. So, Kitty, how can brands avoid common hiring pitfalls like overspending or finding a mismatch in skill sets?
Yeah, we hear that a lot from our clients. Like during discovery calls, we asked, is it your first time to hire a contractor, especially from the Philippines? It's very important to know that because you would know how to approach, you would know how to approach asking them questions or your strategies in, fleshing out or doing a deep dive of what they really need. It starts definitely, of course, with or it's important really to understand what each role needs before you start hiring. So we ask a couple of questions to target the skill set, the qualities, the even systems and tools that they would like this person to use or that they would need for this person to have experience with. It is important also that we understand the team dynamics before we start hiring. So who they will be reporting to? Would there be a training provided, or do they need this person to be an expert of this field, or have do they need this person to have industry experience? Those are very important because we've experienced clients that hired previously from let's say from other platforms or from other agencies, and they would say, there's a blanket approach in, for example, an EA or a personal assistant. So it's not just that. If if whenever we hear executive assistant, we would see na, okay, this person should know how to do admin responsibilities, how to do calendar management, email management, but that's not it. Basically, you need to target what's the scope of the responsibility, as well as have an understanding of what what they will be supporting to needs. So I think that way you avoid over hiring or bringing someone on who's not quite the right fit. So we also focus on thorough reference checks and culture fit, interviews to make sure the skills and personality match. There's also skills assessment that we incorporate in our hiring process, and we encourage our clients to provide us, an idea of an assessment that would replicate whatever this person would be doing if they are hired. Also, sometimes setting up trial periods helps too. That's a great way to see if the person is the right fit without fully committing upfront. So those are the things that we're looking at.
Yes, and then just for final question, it's just like you've mentioned about the trial period. Any recommendation how long a trial period is?
In our experience, we've had clients who started with 1 month, so with a maximum of 3 months. So 1 to 3 months, I guess, would be an ideal duration for trial period.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here. And let's give our listener a little teaser, JC. Without giving too much away, can you give at least one takeaway that you're most excited to share during the webinar on the 21st?
I think more information or experiences that we had in our in recruiting for our clients is one of the things that I'm very excited to share. Our learnings, we have great, we have wins, I can say, for the clients that we've worked with. And of course, we have this challenges for dealing with clients or having a hard time supporting their requirements. I think diving into that would give our listeners a preview or expectations or an overview, if it's their first time hiring remotely, on what to expect in having a remote team or the hiring process.
Wonderful. Thank you, JC. And Kitty, how about you? What can attendees expect to gain from the webinar that they can apply right away to their hiring and team building practices?
Thanks, Aycee, for that question. It's also great that JC mentioned that we will share our wins and challenges, because we wouldn't know exactly what to tell them, how to properly guide them, or how to walk them through in hiring within the DTC landscape or e-commerce landscape in a remote setting if we didn't experience any challenges or failures somewhere along the way. So attendees can definitely expect some really great and practical insights on scaling their team. Not just scaling, but building teams that, thrive. So we'll talk about probably, spotting culture fit talent, setting up communication for remote teams, and then creating a structure that not only attracts, but also keeps top performers. So it's all about, I would, as a And it's something that they should be excited about, that it will be about actionable takeaways that they can start, using right away to improve hiring and team dynamics.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait. So for everyone listening, again, don't forget to join us for the Beyond the Product, Building the Team That Scales Your DTC Brand webinar on November 21st. Lara Guevara and JC Ventura, one of our guests today, will be there, ready to go even deeper into these topics with actionable strategies you won't want to miss. Until next time on Talent Talks, keep building those teams that make a difference. JC, Kitty, thank you so much again. Goodbye.
And Casey, bye.